And for me, the idea of seeing my son flatlined on a mat, which could happen with Tyson, that fear is more real for me than it has been with any other fighter.
You're listening to the Alec Lace Show. The future is family.
Obviously, the election is the biggest thing in November. The second biggest thing is Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's, he was my favorite fighter of all time, and I watched every one of his fights. I can't imagine you, especially as a dad, your son getting ready to fight. In my opinion, he's the greatest fighter of all time. So the fight is scheduled for November 15th. Break down, what is the rules? I keep hearing so many different things about rules that are added. Is this an official boxing match? Is there any crazy rules? Any truth to any of that stuff? Set me straight here.
All right, so it's an official boxing match, professional fight, 2-minute rounds, and no headgear. I think they're doing 12-ounce gloves. I'm not sure that has moved a couple times. I don't know what it is recently, but yeah, this is a legit on your record boxing match, and nobody's fucking around. You get people saying, "Oh, Mike's going to throw the fight, Jake's going to throw the fight." When these idiots talk about that, first of all, it's illegal to do it. But Mike Tyson, I met the dude, and he's a savage. He's a really nice guy, strong as shit. I mean, you give him a hug, and I'm like, "Fuck, I'm hugging a bear." I mean, he's a solid dude. And I told Jake, I go, "Jake, you better start putting on some massive muscle and getting conditioned, because this dude is fucking solid, man." And he's like, "I know, Dad." And my boys both call him Uncle Mike. I mean, they get along, they like him. So, and for me, it's exciting because I grew up watching Tyson. I mean, watching him in the black shorts, black shoes, and just, fucking everybody up everywhere he went. It was awesome. And I was like, he's the greatest fighter of all time. And now Jake's fighting him. It's kind of surreal. It's going to be a scary night for me, because fight night, I'm uptight a little bit, not uptight, but I'm kind of like, people want to talk to me and have a conversation, and I'm not really listening, because I'm just going in my head of the fight. What's going to happen? And rolling through it and rolling through his other fights. But they're saying it'll probably be the most watched boxing fight in the history of boxing.
Yeah, they're saying Netflix, they're like 500 million possible. They're still saying some crazy numbers. So listen, I hope it's true. And one of the things, like I said, I don't want my kids going over to fight foreign wars. I also don't want them getting in the ring with Mike Tyson. So I can't imagine as a dad, you grew up watching Mike. I mean, there's never been, Greg, a fighter in my mind, even UFC. I love the UFC. I watch all the fights. There's never been a guy that when the bell rang, like I had that electric feeling in myself, like, holy shit, here we go. Like that it was when watching Mike Tyson, like just the way he stormed in the ring, he paced, and it was like when the bell rang, you had that feeling when it was about to go down. I've never had that from any other fighter before.
I agree with you, and it's the same with me. I mean, probably the closest would be John Jones. John Jones in MMA, he goes in there, and that dude's going to just hurt people, mess people up, and there's going to be carnage. With Tyson, it's still the same thing, and yeah, he's 58 years old, but he's so well dialed in on the sport, and what he's so great at what he does great. He's a threat. Until that fight is over, either one of them is on the mat or it's over for whatever reason. The threat is real until it's done. And for me, the idea of seeing my son flatlined on a mat, which could happen with Tyson, that fear is more real for me than it has been with any other fighter. But it's a fight game. I mean, hey man, good for Jake. He loves the fight. He's passionate about it. He's bringing a shit ton of eyes to it. He's opening up boxing gyms. He's got the boxing bullies thing, which he's super passionate about. And if something bad happens to Jake in the ring, hey man, that's where he wants to be. That's where his heart is. And as much as it would suck, that's the fight game. You got to come. It's all part of it.
Yeah, Tyson said, "I'm willing to die in the ring." And he means it. I mean, that's the kind of guy he is. So it's definitely. I mean, I pray for you. I pray for your son. I know that. Listen, more than anything, I know it's going to be a successful event, no matter if it breaks the records or not. There's going to be a ton of eyeballs on it. I don't know how he tops this after this, because who else do you go when after you fight Tyson? I mean, unless I don't know what else he could do, but it's been amazing to watch. So, what are your plans for the day? I know you say obviously you'll be sitting ringside. What do you got going on for it?
So I'll be there for the weigh-in and the pre-fight interviews and all the stuff they do. I like to show up, just be a part of that, be there supporting Jake. And, he likes having us around, even though, we might not show up much. We're always in the area. And, I like going there, seeing the energy of the fans, and, that's kind of fun. And, there's always some dummy who thinks they want to fight you because they had a couple beers. And like, why? I never understand this. You go to fight, and people in the stands that are drunk want to fight other people. What the fuck is wrong with you? Go home and fight somebody there, But yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll tell you, no matter where you are, even if you're not in the arena, that happens. I remember driving Uber on a big fight night. I think it was Mayweather. I forget who he was fighting. But I was driving Uber, and it was like after the fight is over and people are getting out of the bars and I'm driving them home. Everybody, I should have did this. They start fighting in the back of the car, and it's like people. I don't know what it is. It's like It's not like you watch a football game and you go, "Hey, let's go play a game now." It's like, but boxing, it makes people just start fighting. I don't know what, or UFC, it's the same thing. They start throwing hands.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when Jake was fighting, I think it was Anderson Silva, some dude came walking down our row, and my wife goes, "Honey, there's some guy coming with a purpose." And I look at him, I go, "Logan, you know this dude?" And Logan's like, "No." And I go, he comes up to me, and I put my hand up. I go, "Yo, where you going, bro?" He goes, "I need to talk to Logan." I go, "Logan doesn't know you." He goes, "Yes, he does. I need to talk to him." And he tried to push through me, and he took a swing at me, and I just gave him a shove with both hands, and he went fucking flying. I could have beat the piss out of this dude. And, later people are like, "Oh, he was an MMA fighter. He's 12-0 and all this bullshit." And I'm like, well, if he's an MMA fighter and he's 12-0, he fought a bunch of pussies, because I just put two hands on him and laid his ass out. If I would have punched him, I would have fucking put him in the hospital. And I was like, what do these people think they're doing? You're going to, and then we later found out that he was going there with the purpose to try to pick a fight with Logan. And I'm like, "You dumb fuck, I'm 6 years old and I put you on your ass and you're going to try to fight Logan? Like, you're going to end up in the hospital, you retard."
Well, listen, obviously your kids, what they're doing, everything they touch turns to gold. They're having some tremendous success. So God bless you and your family.
You're listening